Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters and I'm up today with this 12 by 12 layout. You can see here, it's a pretty busy one, I will agree, but it's a really great way to use up those leftover thickers that I know everybody has lying around. So if you want to see how I put this together and how I used up my leftover thickers, or well, some of my leftover thickers, I still have a lot more, please continue watching and I hope you like this video. Bye!
Alright, hi everyone. So as you can see, I've got my big photo there, which is actually a photo of me on the way to the Anzac Day parade this year. My band was playing and so that's me with my instrument and yeah. And so I pulled out from my thicker stash a whole heap of thickers that I wasn't going to use anymore, and then a whole heap that I actually couldn't make any more words out of. So these blue ones I didn't love, and so I wanted to use those up. So I'm sticking those down, and I don't make you watch all of this. I'm just saying. I'm going to edit some of this out, and it will just magically get to the point where there is now, you know, a whole thing filled with thickers. But I just wanted to give you an idea about what I was doing. So you can see I am randomly placing the thickers in lots of different orientations and right across the page because I want to spread out the colours, but also want to not sort of make them look too linear. So you can see me there putting out now the grey one. So I wanted to spread out the colours. So you can see, as I said, with the magic of editing, I don't make you sit through all of that. So it did take me quite a while, like probably a good half hour to stick down all those thickers. And then I'm now just spending a bit of time going through and filling in any of the little gaps that I have. So I'm showing you there I used up, I think it was 5, you know, of the full pages of thickers, and I didn't use any numbers. So my thickers still have all of the numbers left on them, but I'll use those in December daily or something. And then in my stash of cut files, I had this sort of geometric heart. So this is the inside of the cut file that I had, but then I also had the heart that it came out of, and then I had a circle. And I think the circle would have worked as well, actually, but I decided that I wanted to use the heart. And I wanted to use the negative of the heart, I think. So rather than the geometric heart shape on the inside, I wanted to use the sort of negative that it left behind because I thought that that was a little less overwhelming from, you know, the thicker perspective, which also meant I didn't need to cover my entire 12 by 12 page with thickers. I realised that, but I didn't know at the time that I was going to go with that pattern, this particular cut file, I should say. So I wasn't sure, and so I just covered the whole thing anyway. So I know I've wasted some of my thickers, but really, you know, they were leftovers anyway, so I'm not that stressed. And I needed to stick I thought I should stick down the cut file piece with liquid glue because I thought that was going to be the best way to stick it down, and it turns out it was. So that took me quite some time, and I actually had to stop filming and come back the next day. So now I am just looking at what I want to do to sort of embellish, I suppose, this layout. But I knew from the very start I don't want much on this because there's already so much going on with those stickers in the background. So I just mount my photo on some tissue paper. And sorry, I've got a cold. And so my brain is a little foggy. I'm thinking, oh, I'm struggling to use my words today. So I'm mounting the photo on tissue paper because I had it lying around on my desk, but also I didn't want anything to really take away from the thickers as the focal piece. So yeah, I definitely wanted it to be a little bit low key from an embellishment perspective. So I'm just trimming that down. Sometimes I'll rip my tissue paper, but I find I'm never particularly good at ripping tissue paper. It always looks terrible. So I know you can get those kind of tools that help you rip paper in a distressed way, which I don't have. But yeah, I just find, I don't know if it's just me, but ripping tissue paper I am not good at. So I'm just figuring out if I want to add a doily, which I think I do, but I'm just trying to work out what size, you know, what kind of doily, how I want to add it. How many of my doilies are stuck together, I don't know about the rest of you, but the doilies come so tightly packed sometimes that it's almost impossible to pull them apart, and you don't know if you've got 1 or 5. So I decided to cut this doily in half. It will have been one I got in a Happy Mail or a swap or a Kidaholic Kits, because I've never purchased any of these doilies for myself, but I seem to still get a lot of them, which is cool, and they're so delicate and lovely. So I've stuck down half of that doily, and now I'm going to pop my photo up on foam dots. So I'm just sticking those down. I don't think I'm too excessive today with my foam dots. Or maybe I am. 9 foam dots is probably a lot for one 4x6 photo. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. And I hope you guys are all getting inspired in how to use your thickers. I still have so many leftover thickers, so I need to think up a few more ideas and maybe do a few more videos on how to use up leftover thickers. I think if I can think of some other ideas. And when I was thinking of my title, I knew I wanted to use black thickers because I'd used grey, blue and gold to sort of fill in the background. And I didn't want my title to be too intense. And so I picked this word, remember, because it was for an Anzac Day ceremony. I thought that was quite fitting. And then I pulled out some, or I'm pulling out now, is some wood veneer hearts. I've got a big stash of wood veneer hearts. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. Okay, I'm back, and I hopefully have stopped my dogs from barking. They just get a little bit crazy when there are dogs walking past our front yard. So back to what I'm doing. So I have pulled out quite a range of wood veneer hearts. I've got some bigger ones and some smaller ones, some ones that are just sort of the edge, I don't know, hollow hearts, and I'm just figuring out how I want them to go on the page. I did decide that that's kind of all of the embellishing that I wanted to do, because again, wanted to keep it pretty simple. So I'm doing the sort of 3 classes of wood veneer hearts, and then I'm also seeing if there's any extra little kind of craft coloured embellishments that I want to use. So I'm pulling out from my stash anything that's that craft kind of colour. And there's a few bits with a little bit of gold and a couple of tags and banners. I'm trying to use the right words there. Tags and banners. And so I've pulled out a whole heap, and I'm just going to see whether I can tuck any of those sort of around the edges of my photos to sort of help me create some little clusters, very small clusters though, nothing too serious. So I've cut one of those tags in half, because of where I'd put my foam dots. It was too, they were too close to the edge, so I couldn't tuck the tag in. So I had to cut it in half, but that's okay. And I'm just going to tuck that under. And then I think I add a little, do I add this second tag? Oh yeah, I'm adding a little bit of baker's twine to that second tag. And then I'm going to tuck that in the side as well. It's been so long since I actually made this layout to when I'm voiceovering it. And because I'm being a bit lazy, I'm sitting on my couch downstairs while I'm doing the voiceover. I don't have the layout in front of me. And I'm struggling to remember what I put in each area. So I used this little banner, which I cut the end off. It had one of those eyelets, which I didn't want to tuck under my photo, so I just cut the edge off that banner and stick that through there. And then I think I add another little piece poking out. Yeah, I do. And then I feel like that's it from the ephemera perspective. Yes, I'm putting away those extra bits. And now I'm just going to stick down the hearts. Now I do have to say that I think my video cuts out. So all you missed was the sticking down of the last few little hearts. So I'm going to say goodbye now because I can't exactly remember where it cut off, but it does cut off halfway through me sticking these down. But that's it. That's the end of the layout. I don't add anything else. So I hope you liked learning or seeing how I have used up some of my leftover thickers, and I hope to make a few more videos in this series so you guys can, get some other ideas as well. So we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for supporting us. Yeah, and we will see you guys soon, hopefully. I think it's about to finish. I say that now and I'm like, ooh, I'm about to finish. So yes, I'm just now sticking down these last few clusters and then my video is going to cut out, unfortunately. But that's okay because we did all right to only get, to only lose this tiny little bit of the video. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys love using up your leftover thickers as well. And we will see you in the next video. All right, guys, bye.